Okay, we're on the air. Welcome to this episode of Aspire to Inspire. We have Michael Parsberg and Alex Odden, aka the Pegboard Nerds. They'll be talking about their musical background, how they handle the tiresome tour life, and their relationship with their fans. If you have any questions for Michael or Alex, tweet hashtag ATI Live on Twitter, and we'll get to them at the end of the show. Hi, you guys.
Hey, how's it going?
You guys are both not together right now, so where are you?
I'm in Norway.
And I am in Denmark.
Okay, so the homelands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys are both Scandinavian. Let's talk about your growing up.
Sure. Michael, you want to go first?
I want to go. I'm the oldest, so I'll start.
Okay.
So growing up, I guess you mean musically, or just in general?
Just your life growing up in general. What's the
My life. So
life
I grew up in a safe family, safe neighborhood. Everything was pretty safe. There was nothing special about it. It was like suburbs of Copenhagen, which is the capital of Denmark, and I grew up going to school, playing soccer after school, nerding out with my homework, and when I was around 14, I started, to get into music because my sister got all these crazy vinyls she bought in England, and I got into music. And with a friend of mine, I started doing internship at a radio station, and got more and more into music. And yeah, then I started doing paper routes to make money to buy gear because I was interested in how the hell is this music made? How does it work?
Cool. Self-sufficient from a young age then, already.
Well, I guess.
Or trying to be.
Trying to be, yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Alex?
Pretty much the same. I mean, except a way smaller city, I guess, because we were farther away from Oslo, the capital of Norway. Like small town, very, I guess, almost rural. Little neighborhood. I mean, we had our friends, and I had my siblings. I'm the older one of four. Nothing really special. I just grew up playing Nintendo, playing with my friends, stuff like that. And then we, at some point, I think we got a computer because of my mom's work, and I started doing graphics on it, like really simple stuff in Paint.
Shout out to Microsoft Paint.
Yeah, right. And then my cousin told me about this computer party called, or LAN party, if you will, called The Gathering, where they had, competitions and stuff like that. So I don't think my parents let me go that year because I was too young. But then the next year I managed to go, and that's where I got introduced sort of into how to make music with a very crude piece of software. But yeah, that's what got me started. And then shortly after, I started, saving up, as Michael did, by doing paper routes and stuff like that. I was also lucky enough to live at home during an apprenticeship over 2 years, where I made a decent amount of money. So I bought a lot of gear and just, yeah, developed my music making skills.
What were some of those first tracks that really moved both of you that you guys were listening to?
Oh, there's a lot. That's a lot of tracks. I mean, from my part, it was like early hip hop, mid '80s hip hop, late '80s acid house, and then early trance in the beginning of the '90s. But like Run DMC, like NWA, all the classic stuff, that we could get our hands on here, because it was difficult to do imports of vinyls back then. So for my part, that was basically it. And then later, as the electronic music developed in Europe back then, I got more and more into trance, then some hardcore gabba, like jungle, drum and bass, like everything. I've been all the way around, I guess, but primarily it's the melodic stuff that caught my attention.
Cool.
I remember I had a forget what the make or the model was, but one of those like flat cassette players or recorders, where you like insert it flat and there's a little speaker grill on top. I think one of the first songs that I recorded onto that from a local radio show was Dr. Alban, No Coke.
Cool.
Which is like a Eurodance whatever song. And then I guess it was really that Euro thing that caught my attention at first, and then I went through everything from psytrance to like hardcore to normal trance, stuff, and also stuff like The Prodigy and Chemical Brothers, Orbital, and then finally around the time when I met Michael, I think I was into like electro house at the time.
Cool. The Gathering, when you spoke about that, that's the demo scene, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So it still exists as like a scene.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, very much it does. It's evolved quite a bit. Just the whole LAN party thing.
What do you mean by LAN party?
So basically you bring your computer and you hook it up to a local network, and then...
LAN.
Oh, LAN, yeah. L-A-N.
Oh, I was thinking land.
Oh, sorry.
Land. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so, I mean, and then, there are gaming competitions, and people, they do graphics, they do music, they do programming, and they also do, like, a combination of all three, and then they have a huge presentation at the end of the party, where people can vote, and there are prizes. I mean, it's gotten to the point where a lot of sponsors are heavily involved, and it's gotten quite commercial. It wasn't like that before.
Okay, but that's still a cool intro to get you into the world that you're in now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so then you guys meeting, that's a really cool story. Let's hear about that.
It was back in 2004. Alex, he won a remix competition for Above and Beyond. And that remix caught my attention, and then he also did a remix for some other people at the time that were really popular. And I really loved the sound. I was like, wow, this sounds so different and fresh. And I was like, I gotta get in touch with this guy. I was DJing and touring with another project at the time, so I needed something new and fresh, and I wrote Alex an email, and we've been happily married ever since.
That's insane, though. It really must have just taken your breath away, or the timing was just perfect for what you had in mind.
Yeah, I guess it was just pure luck. I mean, even though the remix that Alex ended up doing never came out.
Yeah, that's right.
It never came out, but you still heard it?
Oh yeah, of course I heard it. I mean, this was in the fall of 2004, and that winter I went to Norway to visit Alex, and we sat there in the cold, having fun, drinking julebros, and we just had fun, and we did some fun tracks, and it was awesome.
That's really cool. That's such an interesting story. Okay, so then how long did you work before you guys started producing things as Pegboard Nerds?
That
Yeah,
started. Yeah. Oh, you can do that, Alex.
yeah. We did a lot of remixes and some ghost productions and a lot of stuff that never ever made it into anything. Um, and I guess it kind of like came to be that over time because we just slowly wanted to we slowly got tired of what we were doing and we wanted to I don't know, just a change. You know, when you do something for too long, you just want some kind of change. So instead of when we were doing the remixes and stuff, we always had ideas laying around, and whenever we got a new remix assignment, we would just go through our ideas and be like, well, this one fits that one, or that one fits this one. But instead of doing that, we took our ideas at the time and finished them as our own songs. And yeah, we came up with the name. And
Which is, how'd you come up with it?
oh, yeah,
we sat in my studio one night and we were like, okay, let's find a cool name. We need to find a really cool name because we didn't want to be known as Flipside and Michael Parsberg any longer, you know. So if people want to check out our old embarrassing stuff, they should just Google Flipside and Michael Parsberg and they will find a lot of weird stuff. But we sat in my studio one night and we're like, okay, what about this name? Okay, we looked it up at Discogs. Oh shit, it's taken. All the cool names were taken. So Alex, he said, I have this anagram thing generator online. Let's see what happens, you know. Just randomize it. And we put in our last names, and one of the first that came up was Pegboard Nerds. And we were like, ha ha, that's funny. And then we just kept scrolling through. But we kept coming back to that Pegboard Nerds because it was kind of funny and it fit so perfect.
Yeah.
You know, we were both kind of nerdy. And where we come from, a pegboard, that's like the little plastic plates with spikes you put perler beads on, and you make these things that people wear at raves. You know, you iron them, and then they become some.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So that's a pegboard where we come from. Yeah. So we were like, hey, it's perfect. That's funny. You know, it kind of resemble pixels, and we like the pixel stuff. So that was just perfect.
Yeah, I think the way you came to be is very organic. That's really cool that name came about because it seemed really perfect.
It wasn't forced, I can tell you that. Actually, I was really about to quit, and then Alex, he said, hey, try and listen to this, and he played me something by a weird guy called Skrillex, and I was like, whoa, what the hell is this?
A little known Skrillex.
Yeah, and Alex, he was like, this is awesome. I was like, okay, it's awesome. Let's go.
That's awesome. I love music moments like that. They just drive you forward. So then your sound is very signature. Was it influenced heavily by video games? And if so, what were your faves growing up?
It probably is inspired by it, even if it's on like a subconscious level. I mean, I played a lot of, like I said, the Nintendo stuff. I was never into really the PlayStation or the Xbox or any of that. So, I mean, for me, it's been Mario, the Zelda games, and Mega Man, and a lot of these games have really memorable melodies, and they had to have it because they couldn't hide behind, cool sounds or anything. They basically had nothing to work with. So in order to make the music captivating, they had to be really melodic and catchy. And I guess that's what we try to like bring into our music as well. Even though we know we have all these cool sounds or whatever, but basically the melody should work just with like the simplest sound ever.
Even with a piano. Just plain and simple,
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Michael, did you play any games?
Well, when Mario came out, I was like, nah, I'm too old for this. I was way more into the Commodore 64 stuff back in the 80s. Then I bought a PlayStation, played it once, and never played it again. And I kept going back to my Commodore 64 when I wanted to have some game fun.
N64 is like the classic though, so
Oh yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yep.
Okay, so then producing and DJing, you both do both,
Yep.
but do you both, who is better at what?
Well, for my part, I definitely think that Alex is better than me at producing. Even though I have been producing for a longer time than him, he's just, I don't know, he's my hero. So that's why I contacted him. I was like, damn, this guy's fucking great. So I've been DJing a bit longer than Alex, so I have a few skills maybe that is a little bit better than him. But basically, we try to do it to get everything together,
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. Yeah, Michael definitely DJs way better than I do. I mean, I barely know how to do. I mean, I know how to do it, but it's not just about the technical skill. It's also about reading a crowd, picking the right songs. The structure of a set as a whole. I mean, in the beginning, we tried to, I guess, almost play kind of back to back during our sets, but I would keep messing up.
No, that's not true.
On DJs, whatever. So I think we've kind of like found our places.
Yeah.
No, that's super cool. Michael, do you have any other pointers for what makes a really good DJ?
Well, I can only say what I feel personally is a really good DJ. For me, technical skills is not being able to beat mix, because modern day technology does that for you. I mean, when you hear flawless transitions and stuff, it's rarely the DJ that does that, because you have a sync and quantize button on most professional equipment today. So that's not what really matters. For me, it's the track selection. I want to be entertained. I don't want to hear the same song for 90 minutes. I want to hear diversity. I want to hear some, energy. I want to hear ups and downs. We discussed that because in the beginning, Alex and I were like, okay, we need this breakdown. It's so important. But the breakdown was maybe 2 minutes, and we were like, why the hell are we losing people? What's going on? And that's because of people's attention span on the dance floor today is really, really short. So you need to keep the energy going when you have a classic EDM set today, which is like 60 minutes or 90 minutes. You need to build up cleverly. And I think that doing what we do is the most fun, because we play all genres. We don't care if it's techno, drum and bass, if it's mumbaton or dubstep or drumstep or keep step, hop step, whatever kind of step there is. We just do what we play songs that we like, and then we try to put them in so we keep a steady flow and a good energy throughout the set.
Cool. Any producing tips? Makes a really good producer.
Sorry?
What makes a really good producer? Do you have any words?
Time.
Time.
Just put in the time and
effort.
Yeah. But I guess not aimlessly, though. I mean, you have to have a clear kind of sense of what you want to do. I mean, do you want to do sound design? Are you good at arrangements? Then maybe you should like hook up with someone who's good at sound design. If you want to do the whole thing, then you got to focus on making, songs. So like, figure out what you want and then, go for it. Because you can sit in the studio all day and just like not really do anything.
Yeah.
So just actively doing things that help you get better at what you want to do.
Definitely. and don't be afraid to make mistakes. I mean, there's only one way to become good, and that's to make a lot of mistakes and actually acknowledge that you made the mistakes and learn from it.
Yeah, and another one, like don't like, but everyone kind of has this, but finish songs. I mean, actually finish them, because everyone can make 8-bar loops, 16-bar loops of a drop, whatever. I think what makes a good producer is if you can like take that and turn it into a song, because that's a whole different skill to have.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it took me many years.
That's what takes a long time. I mean, we've been producing for many years, even though some people think that we came out of the blue 3 years ago, but we didn't. We've been producing for a long time, and I mean, I had my first release in 1992. That was a horrible record, but I learned from it. It was horrible. It was fun though, and that's also another important thing when you make music. You should have fun with it. If you're not having fun with it, do something else.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. So in 2012, when some people do think you popped out of the blue, that was when you guys became sort of a household name. That's pretty surreal. So was that scary for you guys? Did you just roll with it, or what's your attitude about that?
I think we were dreaming about it. You always dream about things like that to happen, and I think we were pretty lucky that Knife Party kind of took us under their wings. We were touring with them. We had like 20 shows. We played with them, and that kind of helped us a lot. And we were lucky that the Cruella remix was such a success, which kind of helped us too, I guess, to become the kind of household name you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we realized what was going on at first too with Monster Cat and that whole thing, because we had never heard of them when we put out our first record with them, which was kind of weird for us, because we were going to like go with the labels we knew in Denmark, and then we kind of had all that planned, but then last minute everything got turned around, and we kind of, I guess, took a little leap of faith and then went with this little unknown label, which turned out to be really good for us.
Actually, we almost signed a deal with that dance label of Sony Music in Denmark, and we're like, hell no, let's go with these weirdos in Canada.
Yeah.
Which turned out to be a really good idea.
Yeah, I'm glad that worked out. You have to trust your intuition.
You know what? That's exactly what we did, and when we decided to go another route and start Pegboard Nerds, we were like, okay, let's do something that we want to do. Let's make music that we like, that we want to play as DJs, and really don't give a fuck about what everyone else thinks. And we're just following our gut feeling, and that turned out to be the right way.
It's funny because we kind of, I don't know, like we wanted to get, I guess, acknowledgement and get out there for so many years, and then, well, or at least I did. I mean, Michael did already do that with his projects, but then when we stopped like searching for that and we just kind of like turned back in, that's when we started getting the attention.
Yeah.
Which I guess just goes to show that you have to enjoy it yourself, and you have to like the music should like reflect your personality and not be I don't know, fake, whatever.
If you try and make something you think that other people will like, you will fail.
Most likely, yeah.
Most likely. If you don't like what you're doing, it will never, it will reflect in the music.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So believe in yourself, but then you also have each other to boost each other up. I think it's very obvious how much you respect each other, and that must be a huge help relationship and how to
Oh
keep
yeah,
each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We have a lot of fun, you know. We try to, you know, even though all this traveling and all that shit is really hard, you know, we try to always keep a good spirit and, you know, have fun and laugh and all that because it's so important, you know. Sometimes it goes overboard, but, you know.
What is the hardest part of your lives right now?
It's traveling.
Yeah, to travel.
It's not the fact that we have to go, that we are so lucky that we get to experience South America, Australia, Japan, United States, you know, all just traveling around the world. It's not that, it's actually the time spent going there. At first, it's like really exciting and so great, and you're standing there in the airport, yoo-hoo, I'm going traveling. Now it's like, holy shit, come on, people, move it on. You know, you can really see who's a frequent traveler when you walk through an airport. You know, you see all these people with a little bit angry faces and walking really straight forward to the security, and you know who's a frequent traveler and who's like inexperienced, and it kind of sucks, but that's just how it is, you know. And every time we have to go, we're like, do you want to go today? No. Do you? No. Let's fuck it. You know, it's just the time from going to one place to another that's the hard part. And for my part, it's also being away from my family.
Yeah, definitely that too.
Yeah, there's that too. So
what's their best coping mechanism for when you have to be away from people you love and you have to be away on important holidays or events that you have to miss? Fun, maybe you're not.
Okay,
maybe you're
I have one trick though, and that's send your girlfriend flowers.
Okay, this is perfect.
So that'll last for a while.
Cool.
You know, keep her happy, you know, because it's also hard for, you know, for the girlfriend at home, or, you know, the kids. It's hard for them to be without us, you know. So we try and keep them happy, and we also bring them along, you know, whenever it's possible.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you know, we kind of, I think, when we are out traveling and we'd rather be at home, I think what we do is we like to go to a nice restaurant and get some nice food instead of just shitty airport food. So I guess we're kind of gourmet nerds.
Do you try to eat something like of the culture when you're there?
Yes, always.
Yeah.
We always try to do local stuff. So.
Have you discovered any like amazing local hole-in-the-wall places on your time, or do you have time to do that?
No, yeah, I mean, sometimes we are lucky in that the promoters like take us out to, you know, if it's a good promoter, they do that. I mean, when we were in Japan, they took us to this little, I don't even know what it was called, but we got something called Nagoya chicken, and I will, you know, that was so good. I will always remember that.
We also had live squid that night, so that was kind of weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
Live squid.
And raw chicken liver. Like little moving baby squids. Like.
You eat them while they're moving?
Yep. These were not. These were just, you know, they just took them out living and they just fried them on the pan, and then you.
Oh.
Yeah, no, not you don't take them directly out. Just no. I would never do that, and I know for a fact that Alex would never ever do that.
No. Maybe.
Yeah.
You're
You know,
chewing like the death of them, though. That's the last
yeah,
stop before they're really.
yeah. You know, another thing, traveling so much, I think we spend more time uh, together than we do with our families. You know, so we get to know all these little weird things about each other, which is kind of funny. You know.
Yeah. When you are so exhausted on these trips and you see your fans, how do you? What if you're so exhausted? What happens? Like, what if you're not in the mood to engage with your fans? Does that ever happen?
Yes, but that's just something you have to pull yourself together. You know, we try to you just kick ourselves in the face. You know, so we just say to each other, "Come on, let's do it." You know, these guys are the reason why we are here.
Oh yeah, for sure. That is like you will never forget that, and so you just have to be like get over yourself and just go and meet them and appreciate the fact that we can meet them and that they want to meet us. So yeah, that's a kind of like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
What role do your fans currently play in your success?
Well, I mean, they're the reason we're making a living off of this.
And they're the reason why we are talking together right now. I mean, we have such a loyal fan base, and we are so grateful that we have that kind of fans that are so loyal. We appreciate it more than anything in the world. I mean, you can't describe how happy we are that we actually do something that people appreciate the way they do it. I mean, it's just incredible.
Awesome. Okay, let's look at some fan questions now then.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So remember, anyone who's watching, you can tweet with the hashtag ATI Live, and that's the questions we'll be reading. So let's see. What's your favorite thing about making music? This is from T Lombard 2000.
Favorite thing about making music? I mean, for me, there are like several different aspects of it. It can be the excitement of sitting down with like blank piece of paper, so to speak, and like the whole musical world is open. You can just pick a direction and go with it. That's really exciting. And also, just the satisfaction when you I don't know. I feel like there's always this point during a production where we nail it, kind of thing, where we're like, yes, there it is, and it's a song instead of just a bunch of sounds thrown together. And it's always really hard to pinpoint what exactly it is, but we just know it when we're there.
It's the goosebump moment, when you get goosebumps, it's just like, okay, it works.
Okay, here's another one from Alio138. If you could do a collab with 5 DJs and producers, who would it be?
Oh, the collab question.
5 is kind of a lot to think about.
What?
It is.
I said 5 is like a lot, so.
That's a lot.
And it has to be DJs and producers.
Let's make it whatever you want to make it.
Okay. I mean, there's collabing. I mean, I think we always find a collab needs to be something that can bring something new to the table. So it doesn't really make sense for us to do something with, like, let's say Someboy, because our sounds are like kind of close when it comes to the dubstep part for our part. So even though Josh is a super nice guy and we love him to death, and it would be great to make a track with him. It's probably not going to be the most interesting track or collab coming out of it. It would probably be better if we did something with, say, Odessa or Paul Potts, just to make a point here. Something, two worlds that collide always makes something funny. We did a song with Nothing But Thieves, and we did one with Elisaveta, who's like an opera singer, and it turned out to be a really weird combo of this epic theatrical piece combined with hardstyle, and it turned out to be one of our most successful songs. So I think when two opposite worlds collide, you can almost be certain that something unique and creative will come out of it. So it's going to be difficult, but from a personal point of view, I think the obvious, like Knife Party, Skrillex, they are huge inspirations.
Cool.
So it's kind of difficult. Alex, chip in.
No, I mean what he said, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We can move on to the next question. Let's see. This is for Michael from Shrek49. Have you ever thought about doing a revival for your first release in '92?
I better not. It's funny. We were talking the other day about we should just post all our old, embarrassing stuff, just to people to see what you can actually, evolve into, to see what can actually happen, over the course of many years and hard work. So I don't think that song from back then would be the best thing, though. The track was called Distorgasm. It was from a kind of anal period, I guess. And the song was about a school teacher, a German teacher. Here we have to learn 3 languages where we come from in school. So I had German, and it's just, yeah, that's kind of weird.
How many languages do each of you speak?
4, I guess. I mean, not speak, because the Scandinavian languages are kind of similar, so we understand. Alex speaks in Norwegian, I speak Danish, but we understand each other. Even though there are some words that are total opposite, we kind of have our own little language going on. But we understand Swedish, Norwegian, of course, Danish, English, German.
Yeah. Cool. So. All right.
What was your drunk, we understand Spanish as well. So.
Oh, cool. What was your inspiration for the song instrumental, lyrics, and video clip for Pink Cloud?
Oh.
A lot.
That's a mouthful.
Well, that's an amazing initiative. The breast cancer thing is great.
No, yeah, thank you. I mean, it kind of came together in different phases. So, I mean, the song was basically just a hook, and it wasn't even the hook that it is now. But it was so as it stood at first, it was just the riff. We just knew it was a cool riff, and we were trying to figure out the vocals for it because it obviously needed vocals. And then through this executive producer we were working with earlier this year, we got in touch with Max Collins, and we sent it to him to just to try and write the verses, but then he asked to get the song without the chorus as well. So he kind of came up with the theme for the song, I guess, being inspired by the sounds in it. And we thought it was a great theme. And I think someone on our management team kind of paired it up with with October coming up, and the pink ribbon thing. So that's when we started, connecting all the dots and making it part of the campaign. So it all kind of like grew over time.
Yeah.
And like throughout the whole team, everyone kind of had their ideas and inspiration. So it's definitely a big collaborative effort.
Cool. Are you guys, what's upcoming for you? Is there going to be a Pink Cloud tour, or what's the deal?
No, there's not going to be a Pink Cloud tour. We kind of agreed on not touring for the rest of the year, and that is because we want to concentrate on new material.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of new stuff coming in 2016.
Cool. Exciting.
We are, however, playing around New Year's, and we're looking really forward to that.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, we have a lot of new music in the works.
Okay. And then here's a last question. What is one change that you would like to see in the world? And then how do you think you and your fans can collaborate to accomplish this?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've seen that we're kind of able to summon our fans, to stand behind something that's good. So there's definitely some power to that that we can use to change things and make things better. I don't think we should be, I don't know, too ambitious, and people talk about world peace and stuff like that. But if we can do more stuff like we did with the Pink Cloud campaign, and I don't know, just focus our efforts in on different good causes, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. We just like to give something back to the world.
Cool. Well, I'm excited for next year for you guys, and I'm sure your fans are really excited to hear your new stuff.
For sure, yeah. We're excited to put it out, so.
Okay, well, thanks for chatting, divulging all that great information. And yeah, okay, stay warm in Scandinavia.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Everyone else can tune in next time. December 1st is the next episode. Thanks for watching. And you can continue to tweet at this hashtag and whatever. Okay, bye.
Bye.